Are you prepared to transform your well-being? I'm Sanjay Raja. My mission is to challenge our perspectives on food, fitness, and overall health. I own a successful nutrition and fitness business based in Orlando, Florida. And through this experience, I've learned that there's no one-size-fits-all solution. From creating delicious and healthy recipes, to training elite athletes, and even writing the book, The Food Talk. I've accumulated a wealth of knowledge, but here's the exciting part. There's always more to discover. That's why I'm embarking on a journey to connect with leading experts, unveiling the secrets to a happier, healthier life. Together, let's explore innovative ways to enhance our well-being. This is Recipe for Wellness. So, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of our podcast, Recipe for Wellness. So, season 2, we're in pre-production for season 2, and it's going to be an interesting season. And I say that for a number of reasons. Number one, we're going to be more international. Number two, we have some really unique guests, very different from season 1. So, for the podcast, I wanted to bring on one of our season 2 guests. So, I've gotten to know her quite a bit. We've talked quite a bit about a number of subjects. And I'm excited to say that she's my first intuitive friend. So I didn't know what intuitive was, so I had to be educated. I know what psychics are, and I've had many psychic readings in the past, but I never had intuitive reading. And she is kind enough to come on our show today and talk about what she does, but maybe give me an intuitive reading if this interview goes pretty good. So let's see. Let's see what happens here. So without further ado, I am so happy to introduce Kim Beam. And Kim Beam is our resident intuitive. So for those who don't know, which was me, what is an intuitive? What do you do? And how do you differentiate yourself from a psychic?
Yeah, because I don't think I'm psychic.
I think I'm psychic sometimes, but I just don't listen to myself. That's just me. But
Yeah, there's definitely that happening over here too.
Right.
So an intuitive is somebody who reads energy and is
Okay.
able to step their energy field into somebody else's energy field and read what's happening inside an energy field as potentials.
Okay.
And so when I give an intuitive reading, it often is the current weather in somebody's life. It's
Okay.
not necessarily what is going to happen, but it's definitely where are things right now to help somebody see forest and trees, path and no path. There are times where I'm like, based on the energy right now, this thing you really, really want, I'm not sensing that that door is open. I can say that. Or that thing you really, really want, I don't think it's going to happen, or I think it will, and I can't judge time. So the problem is when you're reading energy, all potentials are now.
Okay.
So in some energy readings, like what's happening in the future is happening now, and what happened in the past is happening now. And so it's all now. And so I suck at
Before you
timing.
get okay, so before we get deeper into this, I know
Yeah,
there's going to be a lot of skeptics who are like, "Who is this tree hugger?" We don't know, right?
I do
So
hug trees. It's true.
it's a nice thing to do. But and I was a skeptic too, honestly. So I'm gonna give a little backstory here because I had my first psychic reading when I moved to Florida, which was in 2002 or three. And I was married. Well, I was dating. We were married with my. I wasn't married to my ex at the time, but we were dating. And she took me to this psychic. She goes, "I've got this psychic I always reach out to." And I said, "Okay, I'm game. I'm open to try new things." And so I met this lady, and she gave me a little quick reading. And I said, "Okay, this is interesting." And she had mentioned something to me. She said, "You're going to be on stages.
Mhm.
The camera is going to be on you, and you're going to be in front of a lot of people talking
Mhm.
or performing." I looked at her. This was around 2003, and I was not into acting. I didn't really get into acting in 2015. And I looked at her thinking, this woman's crazy. She has no idea what she's talking about. So I was proven wrong. Now, let's fast forward. I had the pleasure and the honor of being invited to the Emmys gifting suite with our illustrious guest Kim Beam here. And this was my first meeting with her. So she got on the show, and we were excited to have her on the show. And then I got a phone call from a mutual friend of ours saying, "Hey, one of the guests on your show has got an extra ticket to the Emmy Gifting Suite in Los Angeles. Can you make it?" So, long story short, I said, "Yes, let's do this thing. Might as well." And so I made some moves, got myself down to LA, and her and I spent pretty much the entire afternoon to evening doing this thing, right?
Mhm.
So my secondary job is being a videographer. So what I enjoyed doing was watching Kim Beam in action because I was there to support her and I was really grateful for the tickets. If I didn't say it enough, thank you again.
Mhm.
Right. And so I got to see firsthand her gifts in action. So it was kind of a slow, kind of moving crowd. And then people started coming over to her table because she had arranged it very, very eloquently. She arranged this table. And what I found interesting was on the table, which you put the names of all these A-list
Yeah.
actors on there, right?
Right.
And I said, I really like this. And I said, are you expecting Mel Gibson? And you're like, maybe. I don't know. I love that. I love that, because you're trying to will something into reality. And if it
Mhm.
happens, great. If it doesn't happen, no harm, no foul. We're all good.
Right.
So all these people came to the table and they're looking at these name cards. I remember watching this happen.
I know.
It was a good marketing trick too, by the way. It was really good. I was
I
smart on your
feel so bad.
part. No. Don't feel bad. I think you did fantastic. So then I watched her give readings to all these people. Now, I'm in my late 40s, so I don't know anybody at this event who came up to the
I didn't
table.
know
They
either.
are apparently somebody,
I
but
didn't know
I
any
had
of them
no
either.
idea who these people are. Some people showed up in pajamas.
Yeah.
Some people, and I'm the only schmuck in a tuxedo in this whole
That's my
entire thing.
fault.
Right?
My fault you're in a tuxedo because she kept saying it's the Emmys. It's the Emmys gifting week. It's the Emmys week. Make sure you're dressed appropriately. And I was like, oh crap.
Well,
So
between your cards and my tuxedo, we had a really good marketing strategy going on there. We really did.
yeah.
So it worked out. And
Yeah, if
so
Meryl
you're,
Streep had wandered by, she would have picked up a card with her name on it.
I know, right? So then you were giving these readings, and I'm watching you do this thing, and I'm just watching people's reaction. They come in, a lot of them came in very apprehensive.
Yes.
They came in, I remember one gentleman, I don't even remember his name, but he was like, I don't know if I really want to read it. He was
Mhm.
really apprehensive, but you're very open. You got a very nice, pleasant energy, and you started opening him up. And by the time the session was done, this grown man was crying, just standing there crying.
Yeah.
So this is the power of this thing. So let me give you a little backdrop on that for those in the audience. So I saw this in action, and let me put it this way: it's not a fluke. I can tell you that it's not a fluke. So this is a common reaction you get, I'm sure, which
Mhm.
is a couple of things I want you to talk about, which is number one, people saying, "Don't read me." They're
Yes.
they're very afraid, right?
Yes.
So
I don't know if it's
explain.
fear so much,
Mhm.
right? I think there might be a level of fear of I just don't want to know. Please don't tell me I don't want to know. Like I don't want to know what's coming.
So explain to me this, and that is where do you sense this fear coming from, and how do you overcome that?
I think it's more along the lines of like, I don't want to know if I'm, at least for me, it's I don't want to know that
Hmm.
I'm fucking up. I don't want to know that I'm making big mistakes, right? I don't want to know that like I'm I'm doing it wrong, right? We only have this life. This is it. In this lifetime, we have lessons that we are to learn. There are experiences we're supposed to
Hmm.
have. There are, opportunities to grab onto and hold onto. And what if I've said no? What if I've said no and then I've stopped myself from that experience? Or what if I'm holding on too strongly to another experience that I think I really want, which isn't really good for me, but I think I really want it, and it stops other experiences from coming in. And then I feel like
Mm.
I've missed something. I don't want to miss
Okay.
it. I don't want to
Okay.
miss it. But I
Okay.
also think it has to do with like Neo and the Matrix.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it.
So there's a moment where he meets the Oracle,
Hmm.
and the Oracle says, watch out for the vase. And he says, what vase? And he turns around and he breaks the vase, right? And
Yeah.
she says, or don't
Yeah.
feel bad about the vase, or whatever it is she says, whatever it is that she draws his attention to the vase, he turns and breaks it. And she goes, now what's really gonna, bake your noodle? I looked it up. Bake your noodle. What's really gonna bake your noodle is whether or not you would have broken it if I hadn't said anything. And I
And see,
think some people don't want their decisions to be tainted by the idea of somebody else that stuck it in their head.
Okay, so there's so many levels to this thing, right? Outside of my brain is in a pretzel, but
I just baked your noodle. It's okay.
you gave me pretzel brain. That's what you gave me. But it's interesting because I find myself when I went to see that psychic, right? I said I took the experience in, it is what it is. And then we kept going back. I remember we kept going back to her. And she kept giving me free readings then after that. I didn't have to pay for some reason. She kept giving me free readings, right? But the thing is, the more I went to her, I was feeling this like, am I changing the path of my destiny because I'm seeing it unfold before me because somebody's telling me that this is where you're going to end up? Or is it going to go away because maybe the steps I'm supposed to take, I'm not going to take because I'm making decisions based on what she's saying. So it was just like this whole scrambled egg in my head, trying to figure out what's the right path. So I just stopped going, honestly.
Yes. I've actually also recently stopped seeing my psychic. I saw her regularly because I thought she was feeding me stuff that I wanted to hear and not
Right.
necessarily stuff that's true.
Yeah. So that's the other part, though. Okay. So what she told me, it took a while for it to transpire, right? 2015, become this actor, great, awesome. And I'm like, you're the real deal. But between that time I saw her in 2015, there was like, yeah, okay, whatever, sounds cool.
Yep.
So then she had credibility with me, right? And then she said a few things down the road that were interesting. And I'll tell you why they're interesting. Because I'm sure you have the same effect on people, which was I was married up until 2018. That's right. That's when we got divorced, and I didn't see it coming. But I went to a few sessions without my wife at the time. And she said, I'm going to give you this. Take it for what you want. And I was like, oh, God, here it comes. I was like, something's coming. What? What is it? I'm just waiting for this thing. She goes, but keep it to yourself. And I said, okay. Now, mind you, this was my ex-wife's psychic. She's been seeing this woman for years before me. And she goes,
fascinating.
I don't think you are with the person you're supposed to be with. She said that to me, and I was like, what? And I said, I didn't know what to do with that information, right? And
Yeah.
she goes, I'm sure, and I'm rolling through my head going, things are really good right now. Our kids, we had our 2 dogs, we had the picket fence, we had the perfect kind of life, the whole 9 yards, right? And she's telling me this thing, going, well, now what do I do with this?
Yeah.
And she goes, just take it for what it's worth. I just don't see your journey ending with this person. That's, you're meant to go along this different journey. And I said, okay. And I walked out, didn't say a word. I remember that. And I sat on this thing. And I remember coming home, kids are there, dogs are there, she's there. And I'm like, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not saying anything to anybody. And you know what the interesting thing about this conversation? And for the audience that doesn't know, it's kind of a little inside joke I got with Kim Beam over here because I call her by her full name. But
it's true.
Kim Beam, I'm going to tell the world, and I'm going to tell you, I've never told anybody this until this show. And I just sat on this thing, and then I just forgot about it. And then what happened in 2018, which was blindsided by this whole thing. And so that's where this whole thing, it just messes with my mind, which is if she hadn't have told me, would there have been a different path? I don't know.
I have so many skeptical things to say myself. Where like, if she's been meeting her for forever, maybe she already knows that your wife was thinking what she was thinking, right?
I
Maybe
mean,
she
could
was
be,
feeding her no, maybe she was feeding you known information, right?
could be. I don't know, right?
You don't know.
There's no science behind this. There's no research behind this. All
But I
right.
will tell you a story I haven't told that hasn't I haven't really let out because I didn't want to hurt the other individual in play. But I
Mm,
went to a psychic in January of 2019, and that psychic also told me I was with the wrong person
yeah.
and told me that that person was like a whole bunch of things. And
Right.
when the psychic said the character of the person that I was seeing, it was like Paul on the road to Damascus, where he gets blinded, and then later on the scales fall from his eyes. For it was like the scales fell out of my eyes. I was like, oh, oh yeah, look at that and that and that and that. And then at one point I called her up and I was like, I tried to break up with him and I couldn't do it. Am I fucking up my life? And her
Yeah.
response is, no, no, you're not. She's like, it'll just take a little time. She's like, all you're doing right now is giving him enough rope to hang himself.
Oh, wow.
And then and then he did.
Okay.
And then he did. And I was able to say,
Metaphorically, right?
yes,
Metaphor.
yes,
Okay.
metaphorically, he is still alive and kicking. One of the reasons I don't tell the story very much, right? Because he's still alive and kicking.
So here's the question that is, people are going to think like this because I thought like this, you thought like this. So when you're giving somebody a reading and you're telling them this information, which is, it may be, you may think you're on the right path, but this is not your path.
Yes.
And I'm sure you've seen people all across the board.
Mhm.
Um, if you had to think in your head, what's like the most common reaction to all that? And what do you do with that?
Um, I leave my sense with them.
Mm,
I tell them, one, I make sure I couch it in a way that is comfortable. I try to couch it in a way that is comfortable for them. I don't try to give
mm,
like truth bombs that shake them up and make them feel unsupported.
mm.
I try to make them feel as comfortable as possible, which was part of my training. I also, when it comes out, I say, take it or leave it. Just
Mm.
because I'm sensing it doesn't mean I'm right, and doesn't mean that that's the way things are going to go. This is just what's in the air at this moment. And so
Oh.
it may not come to be because energy is shifting. It shifts a lot faster than some. And the other thing is free will is a thing. People get to
Hmm.
make choice, right? People get to decide what they're going to do and what they're not going to do. And so I I I can look at something from the outside in and feel like this is happening right now and believe it fully. And yet, in reality, it hasn't happened. There are things that I've known that I've known that I've known and even had like a physical body reaction to. And as far as I know, it hasn't happened yet.
Mm.
In my knowing, it happened right then and it was done, but it hasn't happened yet.
So, okay. So I take that into account. And so the other question I'm sure people in the audience are going to ask is, what does this have to do with health and wellness? Right?
Yeah.
And that's a good question, but I'll tell you how it is related in so many ways. And I'll give another personal story, which was you and I had met at the Emmy Gifting Suite for the first time. We've talked on the phone. We were going to, talk about the show and all that good stuff. And so we just, sat, talked and hung out. And you said, "Can I tell you something?" And you gave me a card. And I said, "Okay." So you gave me this card, I remember. She goes, "But I want to tell you something." And, we talked about family. We talked about, personal stuff, just passing the time a little bit. And you gave me some advice about my daughter.
Mhm.
And that advice has changed the trajectory of our relationship in a very good way.
I was going to say, I hope in a good way.
Yeah, in a very good way. Because what I thought she was thinking about and going through and was able to handle, she wanted more of a voice and she wanted more of an audience.
Mm,
And And so I do that now, which is, I go on when I have the kids, we go on a walk every evening and we just talk about stuff, life, general, no phones, no distractions. And she's opened up a lot more. And we become better friends, her and I. And so, yeah. So this is where it's related because this thing, I didn't think it could do it, this experience, but it actually improves relationships,
Yep.
which is an integral part of health and wellness. So give us a story, because I'm sure the audience would love to hear one of your many stories about how you shifted somebody's mindset or relationship and the significant impact it made.
I actually have a couple from when I was younger
Hmm.
and I was still running around inside the church. Um, and I told somebody came up to me and asked me for some encouragement. And I basically said, your relationship with your mom is going to improve. You're going to get a lot more
Hmm.
time to be with them because you are going to be moving back to your country of origin and you're going to be living with them for a little while. And so you and your mom are really going to work out your stuff and you're going to have really good communication. And then I got in trouble because she didn't want to hear she was moving back to her country of origin.
Right,
She
right.
wanted nothing to do with that. And so I
Okay.
got called into the authorities of the church and, had to sit down and I got spoken to.
Hmm.
And then a couple of months later, the person who pulled me aside to give me the talking to came up to me after a church service one morning and said, I need some encouragement. And I looked at them and pointed to my mentor across the room and said, Steve's over there. Because last time we talked, you told me not to give anybody a negative word, not to say anything that people don't want to hear. So why are you
Right.
coming up to me? Right? Why are you coming up to me? And I was like, if you want somebody you know is trustworthy, you should go find Steve. And he said, no, I want to hear it from you.
Hmm.
And so I closed my eyes and I just sort of listened to the energy for a couple of minutes, seconds. However, it feels like a long time to me when I'm waiting, but I don't know how long it actually is. And then I got this image in my head of him unwrapping a soccer ball. And he was somebody who was really into soccer,
Hmm.
coach soccer. He still coaches soccer, right? He always has a soccer ball around. He opens his trunk and it's filled with soccer balls. Like it's a thing for him. And so I was like, I see you unwrapping a soccer ball and I see you taking it out of the box and I see you playing with it in the field. And then I said, and I have no idea what that means.
Hmm.
Sometimes I get the interpretation of what it means, and sometimes I don't. And so I
Okay.
just told him, I have no idea what that means. And he
Hmm.
looked at me and he grinned and he said, I know what that means. And he walked away. So let me give you some backstory on this guy. And that is he has a wife. They had 3 children. And then she was pregnant and miscarried at 6 months.
Hmm.
She got pregnant a second time and miscarried again at 6 months. He came up to me after the loss of the second baby. And so he was handed a soccer ball that he got to play with. And so we found out a couple of months later that she was pregnant. And then she did carry that baby to term.
Hmm. Okay.
And
Wow.
so that which I said gave him, like, he grinned. He was so excited. Like he came up to me worried and he left me in peace and with excitement. And I
Hmm.
look back and maybe a little bit of hope because I can put my spin on the events, right? Because
Yeah.
that that pregnancy went to term.
Oh, wow. So, so for our audience listening, right? I'm sure. So I know psychics are everywhere. They're commercialized and all this stuff, right? I don't see many. I never saw any advertisements or any people advertising themselves as an intuitive until I was introduced to you,
Until
right?
yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it was like, is that a small community?
Um, I don't think so. I think it really just depends on what word people embrace. I'm
Mm,
not willing to call myself a psychic because I'm reading energy. People who are psychics to me, they're people who get like they see, I don't see. They see and I don't see. I hear and I sense, but I don't see. And I don't know. I see in the sense that I sometimes get mind's eye images, like imagination things. But I know
Hmm.
people who like are standing in a group of people and then they see somebody standing next to them outside of themselves, right? And they see them and they like have a chat with them and they talk to them and then they find out their name is Phil and they're the dead so and so of that person over there, right? Like, and that
Yeah.
is not how it works for me. And I will lay myself out and be really honest. I had a very different reading for the election than what actually happened. And there was a
Mm.
moment where I was like, do I throw in the towel? Like, am I done? Like, does this mean I'm not right?
Right.
Like, and then it's just like, no, I was reading one band of the energy.
Okay.
Or then there's the idea of like, no, maybe it's not this election that I was reading. Maybe it's the next election I was reading, right? Like,
Okay.
or maybe it
Right.
was last election and I'm asking for this election. So I think the information I'm getting is for this election. And then it actually is a different election, right? Or
Okay.
maybe it's like where the country is headed and not what actually happened in the election. Maybe this election leads over into what I saw. I have no idea. But in the moment, I'm looking at reality and reality is
Mm.
telling me you're wrong. And then I have to deal with like, how do you handle it when you're wrong? What do you do when
Right.
you don't get it right?
Yeah. Well, it's like I said, I don't want to, it's not like a scientific principle where there are certain
No.
rules and standards that, basically 1 + 1 = 2 every time, right? So, um, but
Yes, but your gut is always right.
I agree with that. And that's the thing I've been trying to do more of, which
Yeah.
is I do this thing where, and like I said, I am not psychic by any means, nor do I claim to be. But I've had those moments a lot. And I think a lot of people have had those moments where basically it's like you look at a situation or you think a thought, you're like, this is what's going to happen.
Yes.
And it just goes right past you. And then you can either, and I'm 90% of the time, I'm just throw it away rather than holding on to it. My kids will tell you this. And then it's that they'll go, why'd you say that? I'm like, well, this is what I feel at this moment. This is what's going to happen. And
Yeah.
then I just throw it away every time. So learning to trust your
Well,
gut is
one
really
would
important.
say that is the principle of one of the major principles of manifesting, which is release and allow. Because
I
if you
agree.
grab onto it and you hold onto it, then you twist it and you don't allow the space for whatever it is that needs to happen to happen. So if you're like, this is what's going to happen, and you're like, okay, I'm not holding on to it, I'm not grasping
Yeah.
it, I have an open hand, then you're allowing it to be whatever it's going to be.
See, that's a good point. I didn't think of it that way, honestly. That's a very good point. I like that. Yeah. I mean, and part of it is just there's too many other useless thoughts rolling around my head. I can't hold
Well,
on to something. I just got to let it
my
go.
problem is that my ego and my science brain is really strong, and
Okay.
my intuitive voice is a lot softer and quieter. And so what happens for me is that unless I'm in a reading and I'm giving somebody a reading and I'm totally focused on their energy and I'm like locked in, as you've seen that, unless
Hmm.
I'm there, my left brain likes to tell me what to do because it's scientific and it's logic based.
Right.
And so when I get an intuitive hit about something I'm supposed to do, I have to, in a way, allow my intuition to be stronger on my right brain, my body space, my right brain to be stronger than my left brain. And my ego doesn't like that very much, and no ego likes it very much. Egos want to be in charge. And when you're
Yeah.
listening to your intuition, you're saying to your ego, we're going to make some room for this. And then your ego says, well, how do you trust it? And why should you trust it? And that's just stupid. And so information comes in very quickly through your body. It comes in through the heart space, up to your head,
Mm.
down to your gut, and that takes 3 seconds. So often, this answer is your intuitive answer. And anything after that is your ego trying to shut it up and keep you safe because that's its job. Your subconscious and your ego have one job, and that is to keep you safe. Your
Mm.
intuition is to get you out of your rut and to get you living a life of adventure. And the choice is yours. Are you going to be like safe, or are you going to go like have experiences? And your ego is a part of your subconscious keeping you safe. And so your first
Mm.
response is often the one you argue with and the one you ignore.
So by that measure, then I've been listening to my intuition a lot because I should have been dead like 9 times over.
I thought it was
Honestly.
10.
Or 10. Yeah, there you go. See, I lost count. Yeah, I'm putting myself in so many bad situations, and so many bad situations have happened to me. But you know what? Universe is still spitting me back out.
Yeah, you
So,
haven't croaked yet.
I haven't croaked yet. Exactly. So, talk to me about how you were able to realize I've got this unique ability that nobody else has. Like, when did that moment come for you? Because this is a unique gift that, all of us can say, you know what, I had this feeling, right? I had this like little, intuition, of the something, and then we just kind of go, okay, it is what it is, whatever. But how did you know? No, I actually sense something more. I feel something more, and then you made a whole career out of it.
I made a whole career out of it.
Yeah.
Um, I've always been hungry for the map, the road map, the treasure
Mm.
map, the like, how do I know I'm doing this right? How do I know I'm not going off the path in the wrong way? Like, how do I know I'm where I'm supposed to be in the moment I'm supposed to be there? Like, how do I know I'm making the right decisions? And so I was always looking for like, how do I find my path?
Okay.
And so I remember asking my sister when I was little if I could steal her tarot cards, and she was like, no. And then one of the reasons I got into the church was because I was looking for spirit. I was looking for direction, not from here, but like so I grew up in a synagogue, and when we prayed, I didn't feel like the prayers left the building. But when I got in with Christians, I felt like prayers left the building. I felt like they got to where they were supposed to go.
Mm.
And
Okay.
then I got super sick, and I got out of being super sick. And I
Mm.
was like, I've done everything right. Like, I spent 13 years being single, waiting on God's man. Like, I did everything right. And on the other end of that, I just, I don't know if I threw like a 2-year-old temper tantrum, or if I just like chalk it up as saying I'm not Job. I'm not Job, right?
Okay.
Like, he got his kids were killed, his house was destroyed, his money was all taken. And then the story goes that the devil turned to him and said, smite his body, hurt his body, and then, right, and then see if he still praises you. And Job
Okay.
continued to praise God even though he was like boiled up and scraping his skin with a piece of shell.
Mm.
I had a house fire. um my character was besmirched at one point. Like, there was a lot of stuff that happened, and I continued to have faith. And then Hodgkin's lymphoma came in, and I
Mm.
went through treatment, and I went through chemo, and I stared death in the face every 2 weeks. And I actually, at one point, a couple of points, prayed to die. And then at one point, I was like, I'm done. I'm just going to die because it won't be that big a deal. And my mom was like, nope, that's not happening. So I finished with treatment. And then on the other end of treatment, I was like, I, I'm not listening to God anymore.
Mm. Okay.
Because if there's a line in the Bible that somebody came back to me later, and he was like, you have to come back. And I was like, if you can tell me that the line in the Bible that says, work out your faith with fear and trembling, and you can tell me that those words have other words in Greek that don't mean fear and trembling, like terrified, like you have to approach God completely scared, then I will consider I will consider faith. But if that line in the Bible where God wants me to be terrified because I am done being terrified, if that line in the Bible doesn't mean that in the original Greek, then you and I can talk.
Oh,
And he
wow.
came back to me a couple of weeks later, and he said, I sat down with the Greek and a dictionary, and it means God wants you terrified. And I said, then I want nothing to do with that because I am done with fear.
Mm. Wow.
And so
So,
now my intuition, I look for adventure. I look for things that light me up. I look for things that excite me. I look for
mhm.
things that make me nerve sighted. right? Like nervous and excited, because in reality, the feeling of being nervous and the feeling of being excited have the exact same effect on the body. Being
Hmm.
excited is the same feeling as being anxious, but
Hmm.
it's a good thing. But only your body registers it as the same kind of feelings. And so I look for what makes me nerve-skited, like the things that make me feel like I'm scared to do that, but I'm excited to do that. And I'm a little nervous about it and I'm a little scared. And even sometimes I put it off because I hit the resistance wall because it feels so big. I look for those events. And those are the things I step into because I realize that if I'm in trembling in the like, I can't wait for this and I don't know how it's going to work and will I fall flat on my face and will it not work out? Like that kind of trembling is a good thing for me. The other kind of trembling I want nothing to do with. But the trembling of I'm so excited about the idea of this, that's where I head.
Yeah, so we have a similar term in our house. We say it's excite fear. You're excited and fearful at the same time, but it's going to
Yes.
be new experience and just leaning into it, change.
Yes.
And I think
Yeah.
it comes down to that really, which is most people fear change,
Yeah.
which is we're all in our little comfort zones. We're all just kind of happy where we are, but then we're not growing. We're not
Exactly.
doing anything new. So the other side of fear, the other side of excitement is change and growth, and hopefully it's good, for the most
But
part.
but I will say this, even if it's bad, right? Like let's say I choose something and it's a bad experience. Well, the truth is I've learned something.
True.
And I've learned something about myself. And I've
Hmm.
learned something about other people. And I've learned something about like my own experience. And I've learned something about what I want and what I don't want. And it's all knowledge. It's, as you like to say, it's all data point, right? It's all information. So even if it's
Yeah.
quote a bad experience, it shows me something and possibly can help me see, help other people see what I've got insight on now too.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think every episode on the show and then every episode of the podcast we've done, I always talk about once I changed my mantra to life happens for me rather than to me, it changes everything, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it changes your perspective.
Yeah. Like
So,
Hodgkin's lymphoma was the absolute worst thing that's ever happened to me, right?
yeah,
Like anything I was ever scared of before and anything I will ever be scared of in the future is never going to be as scary as knowing I'm going to die or I could die or what chemotherapy made me feel like or the effects of chemo or that whole 4 month experience. But I will also say it is the experience that changed me the most. It transformed me, it shaped me, it allowed me to drop fear, it allowed me to like step into what I'm doing right now. If I hadn't gone through that in 2010, I would not be here having this chat with you in 2025. Basically, it's 2020.
yeah. I mean that's the thing. That was the other thing that I wrestled with, which was I always was looking too far ahead, and I wasn't enjoying the moment I was in. you know so I'd be like, oh, so I'd be on it would be simple things too. It'd be like on a trip or something and be like, oh, I can't wait till tomorrow, but I'm like, wait, enjoy what you got going on right now.
Right. Enjoy the meal right in front of you right now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like,
don't talk about tomorrow and be like, oh, I can't wait. Well, you could say that, great, but be present in what you're doing. And I think that's another shift that I think our experience that or my experience with you and you give me that reading shifted me, which was being more present. It reminded me to be more grounded that way rather than just assuming certain biases I had, with my daughter being that, oh, she can handle everything. She's strong, right?
right.
So yeah, when she's talking to me, I got to be present. Just like with anybody with their kids, we all have to be present. So,
Well, we
but
all with anybody, right?
oh yeah, oh
It's
yeah,
exhausting, but being present with everybody you come into contact with is actually really important.
yeah. It's a skill we've lost. I think it's a skill we've lost because it's hard because nowadays, I'm going to sound like the old guy in the room.
You are the
It's
old guy in the room.
I am the old guy in the room. Yeah, it's essentially my kids will be like, I call them because I can call them. Like, how come you didn't text me? because I wanted to call you. That's why.
Well, you get much more information from a phone call than you do a text because you can
100%.
voice. Yeah.
Yeah, you can check the intonation, tone of their
Mhm.
voice. You can hear what they're thinking just by them giving that information, So,
And as I like to say, I'll add this too. We expect like our CEOs and our managers to be able to read the room without anybody saying anything. Read a room, and that is actually the first level of intuition is empathy, is being able to
mm,
read other people's emotions without them having to say anything. And it's a lot harder to read a text for empathy than it is to read a phone call and yeah, to read a conversation via voice.
and that's the thing. It's like I get sick of emails and texts because they have no context, right?
Hmm.
I like to call it fat fingering it. I could fat finger a text and basically throw some information out there going, this is not what I meant, right? And then somebody takes it the wrong way, or email does the same thing, and I was like, come on, let's just have a phone call, man. So it makes my life easier. So
And then there were
you're,
times that you were actually in the same room with people and able to have like a face
hmm
to face, which is so much more powerful than even a phone call and then more powerful than a text.
there you go. Yeah, yeah. I
Which is
mean,
why
that's
some business things and why for some readings, I really like them to be in person rather than over Zoom. Some of them I'll do over Zoom. I'll do it over Zoom. It's fine. I'll do it over a phone call. That's totally fine. But like there's something different, especially like even if there are 150 people in the room with you, like at the Emmy gifting suite, right? There's something
yeah.
different about being in somebody else's energy space when you give the reading.
Well, this is interesting because I did in what was it, 2019? I did a corporate health and wellness program for Caltech in Pasadena. So for 8 weeks, I was teaching them martial arts, the faculty and staff, and then doing nutrition wellness. But the point of the story is that they did a health fair that day, one of the days I was there. You know, the most popular thing at the health fair was not me. I can tell you that. It was not me. It was this guy brought over this device that reads your energy and the color of your aura.
Yes.
That was the most popular thing. I mean, the whole school lined up for this guy. It was crazy.
Yeah. And I will tell you, people have handed me pictures and been like, this is what my aura looks like. What does this mean? And I'm like, I don't read. My best friend, one of my best friends reads auras, tells me that when my
Yeah.
feet come off the ground, my aura
Mhm.
changes color.
Yeah,
That
like
my
do you remember those gas station aura rings? Right, you get at the gas station, you put the ring on, and it like changes color throughout the day and stuff like that,
That's a
depending
mood
on your
ring
mood.
that's different.
I don't know. So,
And the mood ring actually just has to do with how cold you are. It,
okay, see, there
and
you go.
so
See,
mine was always black because my hands were always freezing. And so like I was like, I am the cold-hearted person all the time because this ring is black.
Uh, I thought it was like an aura ring, but that's just me. Oh well, anyhow.
No, it's a mood ring and it's something totally different. It's still from the 80s.
50, it was 50 cents at the gas station. I remember we'd be watching it. I'd get my Coke, I'd get my candy bar when I was a kid, but I'd look at the ring all the time and be like, that's kind of cool. Every single time I would see it. But I never got one. So
Oh, I totally had one.
I believe it. I believe it. So this is a good transition because I don't want to be that guy, but I'm going to be that guy right now, which is I would love to see if you could do a reading for me
Mhm.
while we're doing this Zoom/podcast
Absolutely.
and see how it goes. So I'm going to be the guy and
You're
ask
going
you
to be
that.
that guy.
I'm going to be that guy. So kind of set it up for our audience, how this works, because I'm new to this, and let's see what
Well, you're new
happens.
to this except for the ones I've given you so far, right?
That's true, but I haven't. That's true. But let's see how this week is going to shape up, and I can plan for it.
That's
No,
hilarious.
no, no pressure, by the way.
No
Yeah.
pressure. Actually, I'm seeing more than a week. I'm not honing in on what your next week looks like.
Mm.
I'm more honing in on the fact I'm more honing in on the fact that I forget when I told you this, but this is still very much in your energy. And
Mm.
that is Oh, this is gonna nothing like putting me on the spot. Okay, so
Oh
you
God.
know how I told you
Yeah.
that right now you're not known, or you feel like you're not known, right? You feel like you're just sort of like doing the thing. I mean, you're known enough that somebody would take a picture of you on a plane, right? You're known enough. You're known
Yeah.
enough for that.
Yeah.
Um, but the truth is, you're like going to be like the words that are coming in my head are Anthony Bourdain and Anderson Cooper.
Hmm.
Like
Two guys I like.
two guys
Two
you
guys I
like.
like.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
two guys.
I'm glad you like both of them.
Yeah.
Um,
I
yeah,
like their style.
yeah. I feel like Anderson Cooper's raw humility
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
and Anthony Bourdain for I don't I mean the first time I got his name I was like, is that because of the PBS connection?
He was never on PBS. It was
Oh, he
all,
wasn't.
yeah, no, he never was. He had his first show on the Travel Channel.
Oh, I always thought he was PBS. Look at me.
Yeah.
So then yeah. So, I mean, just because I do see travel for you and
Hmm.
I do see like the exploration of this wellness thing in different cultures, not just ours.
Right.
And I do see you on a set in a station, right? I do see that for you.
Hmm. Okay.
But and it's still true. I think I told you in the past, and we have talked about this a little, and that is you're not somebody who will take somebody else's rules easily.
Yeah. Anybody who knows me, that's like, yeah, that's pretty much true.
And so since you don't take anybody else's rules easily, that being on a set might not be the most comfortable thing for you, and you will get into it hesitantly.
See, this is new information now. You didn't tell me this part. This is all new information.
You will get into it hesitantly, but there will be a number of offers about it that will be number of details about the offer of it that will
Mhm.
be interesting. And so I don't see it ending badly, like you storming off set. Like I don't see that happen. Or storming out of
Yeah.
an office. Like I don't see it like that. I see them like
Yeah.
I see them as being a company that wants to learn. Mm.
Hmm.
And that the two
Interesting.
of you there's a line in the Bible about iron versus iron,
Okay.
about two men who come together, and then maybe iron sharpens iron, as iron
Right.
sharpens iron, right?
Yeah.
That's the way I see that set relationship is an iron versus iron kind of relationship where you're honing your skills and they're honing what they need, and they actually allow you to drive and shape in a way that makes them a little uncomfortable, but they're trying to get you to do what they want also makes you uncomfortable. And so those two things together
Yeah.
create a space where you're both learning and growing, and it actually is really good for society because that energy will be alive.
Hmm. Okay. This is new information.
Yeah. Um, so when I was done being sick, I said there was a dragon in my belly that would sometimes wake up and be really cruel and mean and harsh, and it was all based on fear, right? It was my
Okay.
fear response coming out. I would say there was a dragon in my belly,
Mm-hmm.
and I just saw a sleeping dragon. And so
Hmm.
I think there's a dragon in your belly about your past. And
Hmm.
I think at times that dragon is very much awake and breathing fire.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at times you let your dragon go to sleep, or you try to make it go to sleep, or you may actually give it a sleeping draft occasionally to like
Yeah, it's called an insane amount of burpees. That's what it's called. That's what I
so the thing is, I don't see this is gonna make me cry, I'm sorry.
This is real. We like this.
don't see the dragon as something to fight.
Okay. I didn't know that. That's new.
Like, I feel like the dragon is, um, yeah, there's a little bit of defensiveness and yeah, there's a little fear and there's all that stuff going on, right? Like protection, self-protection. But I also feel like it, that feeling isn't separate from you and needs to be fought. It's more of an integration where
Mm,
you bring it in as one. And let me see if I can help you a little bit. I did my first meditation retreat and it was a silent retreat for like 7 days. And in the middle of it, I got this ball of peace that came into my belly. And it sat
mm,
in the middle of my belly for a really long time, like
okay.
3 or 4 months. I had this ball of peace in the middle of my belly. It was amazing and I loved it. And then I thought it
Mm.
went away. And I bumped into somebody like me and they were like, it didn't go away. You just integrated it all throughout your body.
Oh, so it became a part of you.
It became a part of me. And actually, I
Mm.
haven't really had anxiety since that ball of peace has become a part of me.
Okay.
And so I sort of feel like the dragon in your belly is a part of your personality that you don't actually like,
Okay.
or you feel like needs to be tamed, or it needs to be subdued in some way. And it's not necessarily the case. It just needs to be integrated and
Okay.
not fought.
Well, a little bit of backstory for the audience. My Chinese zodiac sign is the dragon.
Seriously?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
did
yeah.
not know that. Okay.
And so with the Chinese zodiac, you've got four elements. You've got earth, air, wind, and fire. And what
You
would you
are not
guess
a
my?
fire dragon. Tell me you are not a fire dragon.
I'm a fire dragon, yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Wait, does that mean I'm a fire dragon too?
I don't know. When's your Chinese zodiac? Your birth date under?
It's the same year as yours.
Is it?
Yes.
No. It's 76.
Yes.
Like totally oversharing with the audience, but who cares at this point? But hey, whatever.
Whatever. Yeah. No, because we figured this out at the Emmy gifting suite because you had to open my phone and I told you what the last 2 digits of opening my phone were, which were
Yeah.
my birth year. And then you're like, that's my birth year. And then I said I was
I
in
had
August and you said you were in June.
and I had permission, by the way, because I was videotaping you. It's just I just want to
Yes.
put that out
No,
there.
no, no. I actually at one point handed you my phone and said, here are the 4 digits. Like, here are the digits you need to know. There are now 6 digits on my phone, by the way. I've changed to an Apple and now there's 6 digits. But like, I handed it to him. Like, I'm an open book, like completely
Yeah.
open book. I wasn't worried about anything at all. So I handed him my phone and told him, like, here are the 4 digits to get into my phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, that surprises you. I'm a fire dragon.
Yeah. I guess I'm a fire dragon too.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Oh.
Okay.
So,
Well, so there you go. There's a dragon in your belly.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I want to say she just because I refer to all the things as she, but she's probably a he. It's probably a he for you. It's probably a he dragon. And he
Uh-huh.
just needs to like be integrated instead of fought
Okay.
and
Yeah, I fight my
appreciated for his wisdom because that fiery in like bits are giving you really valuable information about your boundaries, about your needs, about your wants, about who you are. And when you're pushing him away, you're saying, I don't I don't want the information you're giving me.
Mm.
And so you put him to sleep and he sleeps in your belly until he wakes up and then you put him back to sleep again.
Okay, so see, this is good because it may be for me, I guess, a part of my I don't know, part of my past or part of my
I think
psychological makeup that I
I
don't
I
really.
I think he got awoken in a really big, meaningful way. Like you pulled Smog. I don't know if this means anything to you because I know you don't know the Hobbit very well, but you pulled Smog out of the mountain, or the Smog got pulled out of the mountain
Okay.
when you got divorced,
Hmm. Okay.
right? Like that's the biggest life
See, that's a
earthquake
that
that's been
that's
in your life.
yes, that I could relate to because the shift in my personality shifted in a big way.
Right.
after the divorce. Yes, it shifted in a big way. So yeah, so I'm gonna have to sit on this one. I'm gonna have to think and marinate on this one for a while.
Yeah. And then you're gonna and then the next question that should come at me is,
Uh-huh.
how do I integrate it?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think I'm getting caught up in the fact that that maybe I do kind of see this is for our audience who are listening to this podcast rather than watching it. This is what happens, and this is what I noticed in every interaction you had with somebody, which is you say something like this, and then our brain gets scrambled, our world gets turned upside down, and then we think about it, but it just leads to a million more questions in our brain, which is a good thing because that's what you want to do, question everything.
Right. But if
So
I'm being a really good intuitive, so obviously our intuitive reading is 10 minutes here, right? Like 10 minutes,
yeah.
I give you truth nuggets that like are like little truth bombs, right? Like that go explodey, explodey, and then you're like, what do I do with the explodey, right? Um,
Yeah.
but if I'm going to do a session with you for real, I then look at you and say, how do we integrate the dragon? And
Yeah.
I might
That's
bring you into a meditation where I
okay.
help you shut up your left brain and listen a little bit more to your right brain. And then
Mm,
you get some gut senses on how to do that because it has to come from within you. I can't tell you how to do it.
right.
I can only allow space to show you how you do that and hold that space with you while you do that.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. I think we may have to do a part two of this episode. See what happens. See what happens there. But so I want to make sure that the audience, because we could talk all day about this stuff. It goes by quick. I want to make sure that the audience knows number one, where we can find you.
Mhm.
Number two is what kind of people do you work with? What kind of companies do you work with? What kind of individuals do you work with? So I want to make sure the audience knows who you are and how to get a hold of you and that they have a clear understanding of how they can improve their lives by working with you.
Yeah. So my name is Kim. My last name is Beam, like moonbeam, sunbeam, laser beam, right? Kim
Yeah.
Beam.
Hmm.
And so I'm at kimbeam.com.
Okay.
I have a book out called Walking Courage, Trusting the Whispers of Your Intuition, which I have a copy right here, right? So
Nice. Very
here's the
nice.
book. Yeah. And I
Yeah.
love the cover. The cover makes me so happy. So Walking Courage, Trusting the Whispers of Your Intuition. I work with people who feel like there's a treasure map, but they don't know how to find it, and they feel like they've missed it. Maybe they've made decisions in life that have brought them, as Robert Frost says, they move way onto way, and they know they're never going to get back that way again, right? So they've gone way onto the next way, onto the next way, and they're like, wait,
Mm,
the way that I want to be going. And so I help people recalibrate if that's what they need, and I help people find their vision if that's what they need. If they feel that they're a sleepwalk in their life, they're just sleepwalking.
mm,
I often say you are the captain of your ship, right? And then I want
yes.
to know if the map you're using is a treasure map or if it's somebody else's map. Because very often people get into professions because that's what their parents told them to do. And
Hmm.
so whose map are you using? And then I also, when talking about working with companies, I've worked with people who are looking for new innovation because everything's already been done. Einstein says, knowledge, not Einstein says, imagination is more important than knowledge.
Yes.
He
Yes.
thought up E equals MC squared. He did not prove it. He just knew that it was true.
Well, think about Nikola Tesla, another great example.
Yes.
He did thought experiments and all this information would be channeled to him and then he was using creativity and imagination, which is amazing.
Yes. And so if you find that your company is in a rut and you
Hmm.
don't know where you're headed and your people are not able to see their way or see clearly or be imaginative or they've lost their joy and their spark,
Hmm.
that's where I come in.
I can attest to this in the sense of personal reading that I got that affected my relationship with my daughter in a very positive way. And then the reading she gave at the Emmy Gifting Suite, I think everybody walked away going, I got to rethink a lot of things. I got to
I
rethink
mean,
my life.
even the guy who cried, like, let's talk about the guy who cried for a moment. The guy who cried, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know that he needed to rethink something. I think all I said to him was, you know too much to go back,
Mm,
right? And you know that going forward you're going to do things differently. So it was more of a sense of just go be brave.
yeah. Yeah. No, I think that's it's that fork in the road, I guess, the proverbial fork in the road. Our instincts are telling us, which way to go, and
Yes.
then we're not listening to it. But
No,
then our
because it's not
our
safe and your
yeah,
subconscious wants to sabotage it.
exactly, exactly. So that's the reason why everybody needs a Kim Beam in their life, right?
Everybody needs a Kim Beam.
So give us the website one more time, please.
Uh, KimBeam.com.
KimBeam.com. And where can people find you? What's the next speaking engagement? What's the next big thing we're doing so people can find you?
Um, oh, I'm doing a summit in January. I'm not sure when this is airing, so um,
Hmm.
I'm going to be in Nevada. I think it's Nevada, Las Vegas. It's Las Vegas, Nevada. Yes. In October at a book fair for She Rises Studios. I'm in
Mm.
She Rises Studios magazines regularly. Um, I'm at I am Kim Beam on Instagram. So I
Hmm.
am Kim Beam on Instagram. I am Kim Beam. But then on TikTok, I'm Kim Beam with no A. So I am Kim Beam on
Got it.
TikTok.
And you've got your own podcast channel, right?
I do. I do have my own podcast channel and I give intuitive readings for free for 15 minutes on the podcast.
See, you can't beat that offer, honestly. You can't beat
No.
that. That's fantastic. I love it. All right, well, Kim Beam, it's an absolute pleasure as always. I think this is a really cool episode that people can get a lot of value from. And the next time you run into an intuitive, it's well worth your time to ask some questions because they may change how you think about things. I know
Yes.
I've changed in a good way, hopefully. But
Hopefully.
one more time, you can find her at kimbeam.com, excuse me.
Yes.
And she's on social media, and she's going to be on season 2 of our
Mhm.
show, Recipe for Wellness. And our big launch date for season 1 is next month. It's right around the corner. So we've been working up towards that, but you're going to see a lot more of her. So try to catch her on her podcast. We'll put that information up and on social media, and please interact with her because she will change your life for the better. So thank you, Kim B. We appreciate the time. And I have no doubt we're going to bring you back for part 2 of this reading.
Excellent.
All right. Have a wonderful day. And thank you to our audience for listening. And we'll see you again on the next episode of Recipe for Wellness.